Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a smoky sunset look on my friend Maria. She has such beautiful bone structure. I just thought this look would look so good on her. And what I'm taking is the Tarte Smoothing Primer and I'm just applying it around her T-zone. So that includes around her cheeks, her nose, her forehead, and her chin. So next I'm just taking this Urban Decay setting spray and I'm going to put that all over her face just to prep it and also making sure that her makeup will last longer. And I'm taking this Kabuki brush from Morphe and then I'm taking this NARS Luminous Foundation in Stromboli and putting that all over her face. The great thing about this foundation is that it's very full coverage. It does have a more yellow undertone, so if you're a girl that likes looking a little bit more yellow, I highly recommend this. Maria loves being more yellow undertone just because she is a little bit more golden, and she likes that this has more coverage in it. So, holla at NARS! And I'm just making sure that I'm blending everything out. So I'm just taking this Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in the color medium and I'm going to use that to color correct her under eye area. This concealer is very full coverage, so that's why you don't need to color correct. And I'm just using it to brighten her under eye and highlight the bridge of her nose and cover up some blemishes. I'm just taking the Sephora Collection concealer brush and I'm just blending everything out so there's no harsh lines. So I'm just taking this RCMA powder and I'm just going to use that to bake her under eye area and set her whole face. Guys, I just want to put this out there. When you bake, you want to make sure you use a sponge. When you use a sponge, you get an even amount of powder under the eye versus when you use a brush. Because when you use a brush, I feel like you don't put the right amount, and also it allows more creasing to go under there. And I feel with this, it's a whole lot more smoother and it gives you a more flawless finish. So I'm going to use that same powder just to set her face. When you set your face, you want to make sure you do tapping motions. Do not sweep. If you sweep, you're going to take off the product that you already laid on the face. I'm making sure that I do light tapping motions or light circular tapping motions. So next, I'm just taking this Anastasia Beverly Hills contour shade in Havana, and I'm just going to be placing that all over the face for that bronze effect, because you want to make sure when you contour, you use the lighter shade first and not the darker shade, okay? Remember that. If you use a darker shade, it's a little bit harder to blend out, people. I should have probably said this first, but when you start off with your contour, you want to start off from the inner corner of your ear and then work your way up to your cheekbone. And you want a lifted effect, you don't want a droopy effect, so make sure you don't drag that contour down, okay? You want to slay those cheekbones. So when you contour the nose, you want to start off at the ridges and then slightly work your way towards the nostril area, and then you want to make sure you blend that out so it's not too harsh. So I'm just taking this Becca blush in a Wild Honey and applying that on the apples of her cheeks and really blending it into her contour so it still looks natural and bronzy. I'm trying to make her look like she just came from the Bahamas, had a nice vacation, and is nice and glowy, okay? So I'm going in with this spoolie and just making sure I brush through her brows before I actually fill them in. So I'm just taking this Anastasia Beverly Hills pomade in dark brown and I'm grabbing a angled brush, and what I'm doing is starting from the bottom and making a line and using whatever I used to kind of lay down the base of the brow and filling out the rest, because pomade is very pigmented and if you use too much you can easily have a very bulky dark colored brow. So I'm just trying to use as little product as possible to make her brow still look natural but very structured at the same time. So I'm taking the Shape Tape concealer from Tarte and I'm going to be using that to just shape out her brows, and I'm using this e.l.f. brush that I got for $1. I believe it's a concealer brush, and what I like about it is that it can really get into the brow and carve out what you need. So remember, concealer is your best friend. If you mess up on your brow, it's okay. You can be a little messy with it because you can go back with concealer to really carve it out to your liking. So when I get towards the end of the brow, I like to really flick it out so it looks nice and fleeky, and it looks really structured when you do that. It just looks like you got them done, but it's not too much. You feel me? I'm just using that Sephora Collection concealer brush to blend everything out so there's no harsh lines, and it just looks natural. So I'm just taking this Too Faced Shadow Insurance Primer and putting that all over the lid to make sure that our eyeshadow stays on. So to neutralize the eye area, I'm taking this kind of beigey eyeshadow and laying that all over the lid just so I can neutralize it and have a good even base when I go in with the other eyeshadows. So I'm taking this eyeshadow from Anastasia Beverly Hills and it's called Burnt Orange, and what I'm doing is applying it to her crease. So your crease is going to be under your eyebrow bone. It's going to be like that socket in your eye, and you're just going to lay that color there as a transition color to really make sure when you apply the darker shades where you're going to apply them. So it's basically sketching out where you're going to apply your darker eyeshadow, and it's going to make everything blend really good so you have a nice gradient. Next, I'm going in with this eyeshadow from Anastasia. It's kind of like a medium brown shade, and I'm applying it on the outer corners of her eye. So the V area, just to really deepen her crease and have a nice gradient effect. I'm taking this darker brown color from MAC and I'm just going to be applying it on the crease area and dragging it a little bit onto her lid to give that smoked out effect. I'm just taking this MAC Prep and Prime and putting that on her lid and using it as an adhesive to lay down any shimmery eyeshadow that I'm going to be applying after this. I'm taking this Anastasia Beverly Hills eyeshadow in Sienna and I'm taking a packing brush and really tapping it into the lid. So when you tap it out, you get more pigmentation and you get less fallout versus if you were to just sweep it on the eyelid, because if you're to do that, you won't get a lot of pigmentation and you'll get a lot of fallout on your face. So next, I'm just taking the Glitter Injections Pressed Glitter, and it's the orange shade, and I'm just packing it over the henna shade that we just laid on the lid just to make it pop. So to add extra dimension, I'm taking the shimmery shade and applying it on the inner corners of her eye. So for eyeliner, I'm taking the Kat Von D Tattoo eyeliner and I'm going to start off at the very end, make a line, and then bring it in towards your inner corner. So next, I'm just taking this Anastasia Beverly Hills kind of peachy pink color. I think it's called Starlight, and I'm applying it on the high points of her cheekbones. So I'm using the L of her face, and then I'm going to be applying it on the bridge of her nose, the tip of her nose, her cupid's bow, and a little bit above the brow. So before I even applied it to her face, I used Fix Plus and I sprayed it on my brush and then dipped into my highlighter so that way it went on more pigmented on the skin. So I'm just going to dip into a Becca Champagne Pop and apply that over the Anastasia Beverly Hills highlight just to really give it dimension. It's such a pretty champagne color, you can't go wrong. So next I'm using the House of Lashes Marilyn Lashes and applying that on her eye. When you apply lashes, you want to make sure that you start from the center and then wiggle them to the inner corner and outer corner of your eye. And I would recommend that you use your mirror and have it at an angle, so that way your eyelashes are on straight and not crooked. And I'm just smoking out her eyes with the burnt orange shade that I used on her crease. For lips, Maria's going to be taking Marc Jacobs J'adore. It's such a pretty dusty pink color. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed and were able to learn something today. Again, like and subscribe. Leave a comment down below what you thought, and I'll see you later.
There's an old saying in Tennessee.
Tell me, Latina.
Fool me once. Shame on
Andrew.
Shame on you.
I'm not picking your nose, I swear. They're gonna think you are.
Get it.
Like, stop!
Oh my god!